Good morning. Hello. It's Erica here from Me to You Paper Crafts. I'm a Canadian Stampin' Up! Demonstrator living on the west coast of Canada. Our snow has finally melted. I live in the Victoria region, so in my surrounding area, all the snow is gone, but I know that we still have snow mid-island and more north because they got quite a lot of snow. We didn't get that much. Enough, though, that my husband got to use his new shovel blower. And he was out there just having a blast. You just push this shovel and it blows the snow like a snow blower. So he was happy that he got to use that, but only for the one day. Anyway, welcome to my channel. Today, I want to talk about a new stamp set. It is in our Spring Mini. I'm just scanning my room for my catalog here, my Spring Mini. Lots of beautiful, fresh colors, spring-like colors, and lots of fun stuff. It's also celebration time, so you have an opportunity to earn free products, and that is in a separate brochure called the Celebration Brochure. Lots of free stuff, and today I'm going to show you some paper that you can earn for free. I've actually earned 2 packages, and it's just delightful. If you're a bird lover like I am, you will just die for this paper. It doesn't come with a coordinating stamp set, but I'm going to show you today. I'm going to use some of that paper, and if you don't really care about the bird side of the designs, the other sides are some beautiful, subtle, spring-like colors that you can use as backgrounds for any of your projects. So without further ado, I'm going to turn the camera down and get started. So the first thing I wanted to do was to welcome anyone who is new to finding me on Facebook. And I am soon going to be also broadcasting to my YouTube channel, which will allow more people to watch, because a lot of people don't have Facebook, but most of everybody I've ever heard of, they do know about YouTube. And so they can find me on YouTube. My business name is From Me to You Paper Crafts. So you can Google that and it'll come up with my online store. It will come up with my blog. It will come up with YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram. So I'm kind of everywhere. So welcome. I've got somebody who has joined me this morning. Christine, good morning. You're going to watch later. Oh, you're going to the dentist. Okay, well, have fun with that. Anyway, let's get started. I'm going to switch my camera over here and to show you my desktop. Oh, and it's a little bit crooked this morning. So let's just fix that just by moving my camera. Okay, so I thought I'd start with a bit of show and tell. I love to share what I've been working on the weekend, and I haven't done a show and tell for quite a while, but I got pretty excited when I pulled out a stamp set from our annual catalog called Crafting with You. It's really great for anybody who is a crafter. So whether you're a sewer, seamstress, or you're a quilter, if you are a paper crafter like me, this is our stamp and cut and emboss machine. You could be a painter, so you've got this beautiful easel here. You've got some paint brushes. If you are a knitter, you've got some wool here, or a crocheter. And it's got some great greetings. Life is better when you're crafting. I highly, go for that greeting. And it's got a with love in here. And then it's got sending you a handmade hug. I love that greeting. That's a great greeting for crafting cards to send to your friends and family. There's a cute little basket here, and there's some coordinating die cuts, which is great. And they give you some other decorating pieces. There's a cute little heart here, and then there's a flower that matches this flower that you can stamp in here. The other thing I've seen, if you are any kind of an artist and you, either paint or you do beadwork or whatever, you could take a photo of your work and then work it out for this measurement and put it on this easel. Some of your own personal artwork would be kind of fun. as well. Okay, so I'll just show you the cards that I made with that set. So this is a paper crafter's design here. This has got our Stampin' trimmer, and it's so cute because the way it cuts out, you can actually slip a piece of paper underneath it to look as if you're cutting. And then attached to the die is a tiny little button. This is actually either our score blade or a cutting blade. So you want to watch for that because it kind of will fall out of the die cut, but you can die cut it out of a separate color just to put that little cutting blade in there. You can build some scissors. So here, these scissors, I used silver foil paper for the scissors part, and I cut a second pair of scissors to get the blue handle. And I put a little black embellishment here. And then there's our die cutting machine. And then I die cut a little heart here. And then I did this Life is Better When You're Crafting. And this set of dies here, these are really interesting because they're kind of radiating stitches. And there's a set of dies that you can purchase for that. Now, all of these cards I will be posting in my project section of my Stampin' Up site, which is ericaedney.stampinup.net. And there's a project area. All my projects are up there, and I always include a supply list. It's actually a shopping cart filled with everything that I use. And that shopping cart is completely editable by you. You can delete things that you already have or you don't want, and you can add things to that. But it just gives you a list of all the supplies that I use in here, including the color, the papers, the inks, everything. Okay, so that's that card. And then I really got into, I did one card using the, I forgot to show that to you, but inside there's this, in the dies, you actually get to cut out, let me just open this up. You get to cut out a, I forget what this is called. I used to do it too. It's for Petty Point. It's a little, oh my gosh, what was it called? It opened up and you lay your fabric over it and then you squeezed it shut to hold your fabric really, really tight as you do your stitching. A crocheter's hoop, maybe. Maybe it's a crocheter's hoop. No, not a crocheter's hoop. A stitch hoop. Oh my gosh, my brain's not working this morning. Of course, I haven't done it in years and years and years. But you can cut one of these out as well. So that's what I did on this card. But look at all the die cuts you get with this set. Okay, you can cut out the paint brushes. Here's the trimmer. Here's the scissors. Here's the sewing machine. You've got a ruler you can cut out. You've got another cute little basket to put thread in or wool. This cuts out the two different flowers that are in the set. And then this cut here, this cuts out the stack of wool balls. And then this is the die cut machine you can cut out. And then you can create these spools of thread. And you can cut out some buttons too. And then this one cuts out the paint brushes. So lots of die cuts. And so, oh, and you've got this here to cut out the easel as well. It was just such a fun crafting builder set. So you might want to give that a thought. It's a great set for cards to give to your crafting friends. Okay, so I made this one. This is with the little stitching loom or whatever it's called. So I actually, what it does is it cuts the circles separately. So I cut it twice. So one was in white and one was in crumb cake. And I used the crumb cake piece as the frame. And then I used the white piece as the centerpiece. And then what I did is I ran it through an embossing folder. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but I've embossed it to make it look like the stitching on the Petty Point fabric that you buy. And then I used the Whimsy dies that we have. I love these dies because they actually show the stitching, which is, you know, how perfect is that? And this is done in the Flirty Flamingo ink colors. So I really thought that was kind of a cute card. So when you want to know all the different dies and stuff that I've used, you'll be able to find that on my website when I load that up. Okay, the next few cards are all about sewing. I used to be an avid sewer in my teen years. I remember going up to a local fabric store with my mom and my nanny, and we would look through the fabric books, and we'd pick out patterns. And my grandmother was an amazing seamstress. She could even make suits and fully line them. Anyway, so this is a sewing machine here, and I'm going to talk about these dies here. I used them for the first time this weekend, and these are called hang on, I've got them right here. These are called the Patchwork Pieces dies. And so when you cut this out, you get all of these pieces, and then you put them back together again. So in this one, I'm not sure if you can see it that well, but I cut one full piece out of forget the color of this blue, not balmy blue, blueberry bushel. And then I cut one out of designer series paper, and then you switch out the pieces so that you end up with 2 cards. Here's the other card that I made. So you can see the pieces have been kind of swapped out. And so you end up with 2 cards at once, which is fun. Now, if you cut it out of 4 pieces of paper, 4 different designer series paper colors, then you can end up with 4 cards. Okay. So on this one, I just put a little, and we've got so many dies that have stitching, so it's just so perfect for the sewing machine. I just did this little square here. Again, I used the Whimsy dies. And then I built up this basket. So you can die cut the basket. And then these are spools of thread. There's even a die to cut out a round and a square button. And then there's 2 separate dies to create these spools of thread, which is so fun. So I just I cut the bobbin with crumb cake. I just cut out a bunch of bobbins, and then I cut out the thread piece. That's a separate die out of different colors of cardstock so that I could make this basket of thread on here. It was just so much fun. And then I always, decorate my envelopes. So I put a strip of the same coordinating paper on there. So that's one sewing machine that I did. And then there's the other one. This one I decided just to make blue and white. So I've got blue and white thread in here with some more buttons. And again, I took a circle, the stitch circle, and then I embossed that with the basket weave just to give it some texture. So incredibly fun. Okay, here's another sewing machine card. This time I used the other set of dies, so it makes this radiating, and I just decided to just do white just to show the stitching as if the person has been, stitching, maybe doing some paper, what they call fabric piecing together. And then I did the yellow thread here. And this color is that Azure Afternoon. It's just a beautiful blue, and it looks great with yellow. So that's that card there. And then I did, I decided to do a basket of wool. My grandmother was also an amazing knitter. So was my mother. And so here's a little basket of wool. So you see how you can cut out the basket. Then I added some of the little die cut hearts on here. And here I used our Deckled Circles dies. So this set really gives itself lots of playroom with lots of different dies and every color imaginable. Okay, and then I did an artist one. So I did the easel, and I decided to sort of go with the painting theme. I used our textured, forget what this one is called now, textured something. And I used some DSP here and layered it on white. And I also used that same embossing folder to create the textured background. And then I built up the little basket with brushes in it. Isn't that cute? Oh my God, I had so much fun. So those are all the cards that I made on the weekend, ready to send out. So if that inspired you, this is the stamp set that you want to think about getting. And I'm sure you have lots of different dies that you can use, especially dies with stitching on them. It's just perfect. So here's a good shot of all the dies in there. Lots of fun to play with. All right. So let's get on with today's card. Today I'm making a square card. I love square cards. This is a little 4x4 note card. So it's 4 by 8 inches, and then you're going to score it in half at 4 inches. And then this is Lost Lagoon. And I cut this to 3 3/4 squared. Excuse me. And then this is a piece of designer series paper, and it is cut at 2 by 3 3/4 just to go down the center. Now, this is the stamp set, Everyday Details. I fell in love with it. I love, love, love the little teacup, and I love the nest of eggs. Now, because we have that light and airy paper that I'm going to show you right now, this is one of the current stamp sets that would kind of coordinate with the paper. Okay, we've got others in the annual catalog. We've got some other bird-themed stamp sets that will coordinate with that paper. Or, like I said, you can just use the reverse sides of the paper. So now I'm going to show you the paper. I took out, there's 2 sheets of each, of course, and this is free with a $60 minimum order. All right, so it's all bird themed. Let me just get in camera here. I'm going to add another light. There we go. So beautiful birds sitting on a branch. And you could die cut around these, or you could use some of your circles or your square frames, dies just to frame it out. I love this tree piece here. It's really, really cool. So you could cut the paper to create a slimline card with all of these birds sitting on the branch. And then the back is this beautiful sort of chicken wire. So if you have chicken stamp sets, here's some more chicken wire paper that you can use. These are some more sweet birds. You could easily just fussy cut around these pieces and put them on your paper. That's probably what I will do because the birds are just so sweet and they're beautifully colored. So I will just spend time just fussy cutting around. I won't go into too much detail. I'll just do a rough outline around them. And then the reverse of this paper is what we're using today. This is Lost Lagoon. So it's just kind of, you know, a leaf pattern. This one is really, really sweet. It's a bird on a branch with some beautiful flowers. So that's something else that you could cut around. There is clearly a spot to cut around. You see, you go all the way around here and around here and around here. So yeah, you could easily cut those. And then you've got this gorgeous paper. So we have a cloud punch. Keep that in mind. If you want to use this as a background, we have a cloud punch. And also in the mini catalog, there is a stamp set that's all about clouds and sunshine, which would coordinate beautifully. Here are some more birds with more flowers. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. And then this side of the paper is just a beautiful floral piece. Very kind of, to me, antique-y looking. Reminds me of old-fashioned wallpaper. And look at these sweet little birds. They're just so cute. So cute. And then the reverse of this is like a beautiful pink and purpley wash. And then last but not least, this paper here. And it's interesting how some of the birds don't have any feet. So they must be sitting with their feet tucked underneath them. So cute. So those are easy to fussy cut. And they're no line, what's called no line watercoloring. So you see how there's no outline to the birds. They've just been watercolored without an outline. So that makes them really, really sweet. And then here is another similar to this, but it's a different background. You see you've got a blue background and then you've got a pink background. Just beautiful paper. So like I said, if you're not a bird fanatic, look at the beautiful patterns that you can use. I'm always looking for background paper, right? And so you can use any number of these for simple spring-like backgrounds and don't even worry about the birds. Okay, so remember, minimum $60, and you can pick this as one of the celebration items. Okay, celebration goes until the end of February. The mini catalog goes to the end of April. Okay, so you have to watch that. Celebration doesn't run for the same duration as the mini catalog. So just be aware of that. If you want to get your free stuff, you've got to order between now and the end of February. Okay, let's get back to our card and this stamp set. So I'm going to be using, I've already mounted this. These are red rubber stamps. I've already mounted this on a block and I'm ready to go. And I want to show you the dies in here. This is, a lot of people are saying if you don't care for the stamp set, you have to get the dies. Well, yes, check them out. Look at these circles and they've got little holes in them. So instead of just a pinprick like a stitching design, they've actually got holes in them. These two are elements that create texture on top of your cardstock. It doesn't cut out. These don't cut out. Okay, and then you've got these rectangles as well. Same idea. Okay, now I wanted to show you this, and I'm going to show you this, how these work. So on my cardstock piece here that's 3 3/4 squared, I'm going to put these on and then I'm going to run them through my die cut machine. So I'm going to do one here and try and make it as even as possible. And then I thought I would do, now I want to see, yeah, I'm going to do one on this side, I think. But you could do this kind of an idea. You could do that, or you could do it along the top, or you could cut it around, cut around the whole perimeter of the card. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stagger these just for some more visual interest. Instead of trying to get them even on each side, I am going to, excuse me while I reach for my purple tape here. I'm going to put one lower on this side, and I'm going to put this one up higher. Just some for some visual interest. Okay, so I'm going to take those over to my machine and die cut those. Okay, the other thing I want to show you, you also get this lattice piece as one of your dies, and this will do the same thing. It won't cut it out, but it will just create a background cutout image. So I'm going to cut this one as well so you can see how both of them work. Actually, I already did that one, so I can just take it off and show you. And again, when you are putting dies through your machine, don't forget to put any straight edge die on an angle rather than cut it perpendicular to the roller. So what you end up with, I don't know if you can see this on my cutting plate here, I've got millions of, well, not millions, but I've got lots of these little well, they're just the pieces that have fallen out of here. So I'm going to show you, this is not a Stampin' Up! Product, but I want to show you this adorable little vacuum cleaner that I picked up off Amazon. So that's what you get. You get just all of these. These remind me of dice. Number 5. Okay, so that's what you get for your background. Okay, so you can see right through it. And then on this one, you get this. Isn't that cool? That is so cool. So I'll be able to build a card using this panel here. And then I want to show you my adorable little machine. It's battery operated. And you just have to rub. So this is great if you've played with glitter. I'm just rubbing so that I can get all those little pieces off my cutting mat. And then you can also, use it on your desktop. So if you've got a bit of a mess lying around, you can clean it up. Isn't that cute? I thought that was cute. All right. So let's get started with putting our card together. So I've got my card base here. Oh, I've still got little bits here. They've got quite a bit of static in them, so you will get some strays lying around. So I am going to layer that on here. And then I'm going to layer this piece down the center, and I think I need to trim it. So let's get my tape runner out. I'm just going to visually center it. And I do have a little piece left over here. So I'm just going to grab my little mini chop. And chop that off. All right, so that's going to go on there like that. Now, if I look carefully, I didn't realize this, but this paper actually does have little birds in it. I did not see that when I cut the paper. There's little birds on there. So you want to make sure you orient it on your card the right way. So that's going to go up like that. Okay. Now, next thing I want to do is I want to stamp my oh, that piece is big enough. I need another piece of cardstock here. Here we go. Take this piece of cardstock here, and I'm going to stamp this out of basic gray. I thought about using crumb cake for the basket, but I'm not looking for a realistic look. I'm looking for the ink that will coordinate with my cardstock. Now, what I'm doing with this is I'm going to cut this out with one of these circles here. So I think I want the largest circle. Okay, so I'm going to just put that on my cardstock so that I can tell where why is my computer dinging? I've got messages coming in. Sorry about that. Krista's here. Embroidery hoop. Thank you, Krista. Oh, I could not remember what that was called. It's an embroidery hoop. When you watch old movies, any like Jane Eyre movies, you can see the ladies sitting in the parlor with their, big skirts, and then they're all doing embroidery. All right, so I want to just center this in my circle. Embroidery hoop. That's what it's called. There we go. You have to know the terminology. How else do you explain things to people? All right, now we've got some little leaves in here, and I brought in Pool Party. I thought Lost Lagoon would be too dark for the eggs, so the only thing I'm going to really color in here are the eggs, and I'm going to use my Pool Party. I'm going to pretend these are robin's eggs. And I'm going to follow the lines in the image just to put some the darker color in there. There we go. And then I don't know why I've got a frog in my throat. I only said goodbye, good morning, and goodbye to my husband this morning. So I haven't talked too much. I should probably talk out loud to myself before I go live just to get my voice conditioned. All right, there's my little eggs. Now, if you wanted to, you could color in all those tiny little leaves, but I think I'm just going to focus on the eggs. And now I'm going to go and cut this out. Now, I had a bunch of this purple tape. I cut it out, I cut off pieces, and I stick it to the edge of my desk. And eventually they disappear. But I love this purple tape because it doesn't rip your paper. I don't trust washi tape myself. A lot of people use washi, but I don't like it. I find it extra sticky, and it has torn my paper. Okay, so let's take this to my machine. I need my cutting pad. Now I'm going to remove that because I think I'm going to get some little bits coming out here. And they all came out beautifully. Now, when you're finished with your die, make sure that you do clean it out, because these little bits will stick in there, and then you won't get a really good cut next time you use the die. So make sure you take all these little bits out. You can see them pretty clearly. Okay, those are all cleared out. Okay, let's bring out my trusty little reminds me of those household robots that clean your house, vacuum your floor. I may need a new battery. It came with a battery, but this isn't picking them up very well. Unless it's too full, that could be another problem. I'll have to check that out later, but that's not picking up very well right now. So I'm going to revert to my other trusty cleanup tool. And that's my lint roller. I love my lint roller. Look at that. Okay, so let's get back to our card. So at this point, you have to decide, do you want your card to open up from left to right or top to bottom? So I'm going to go left to right. So I'm going to glue this on here. And then I'm going to glue this right on top. Like that. Now, if I were to design this again, maybe I would try, let's just see this smaller. Now this hoop is different. This next hoop actually does the holes on the inside and the outside. So it creates kind of a window idea. Or in this case, you could just use a different kind of a circle. But I'm going to go with my design because that's how I started. And we're going to go with that. All right, so let's put some tape on here. Make sure my birds are the right way up, which they are. And this is going to make a square little note card. And this, I think I'm going to put this on dimensionals just to lift up the center. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some Wink of Stella to the eggs. So where are my Stampin' Dimensionals? I'll just put 3 on them, like so. I could have incorporated a little greeting on here, stamped it like over here, like hello or happy spring or whatever greeting will fit in that area. So let's put that on there like that. And then I'm going to grab my Wink of Stella and let's just do a little bit of wink. There you go. A really sweet and simple 4x4 card. Isn't that cute? Now there are a few what I call design stamps in the set. There's this is cute. So I could incorporate that on the inside of the card just to create some design. Or what I could have done is added a bit of design on here. I can't do it now because I've got this on dimensionals, but I could have stamped a few of those there. Or I could just stamp a few on the inside. Excuse me, I don't have my Lost Lagoon ink pad here, so I'll do that later. And then I will create a 4x4 envelope. Now remember, if you still have the Stampin' Up! Envelope punch board, you can use that for 4x4 card, or you can create one of your own 4x4 envelopes. So I might do a little video this afternoon just to show you how to do a little 4x4 envelope without having the envelope punch board. And you can make envelopes out of your designer series paper, which would be really sweet to match it up. Okay, so thank you so much. Oh, Jen just popped in. Yes, I'm glad you caught me as well. I was struggling with the name of the embroidery hoop because I did a little walkthrough of the cards that I created over the weekend. You might want to replay the video to take a look at that. Anyway, ladies, thank you so much for joining. Have a wonderful week. I will be back on Thursday night for a Case the Caddy. And until then, I will see you then, I guess. Not saying goodbye with my face. Well, here's my face. So have a great day, ladies. See you Thursday night, hopefully. Bye for now.